What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Optimize You. Our goal, our mission is to help you optimize your life, optimize every area of your life, from your health to your fitness, to your nutrition, to your mindset, to your identity, literally everything. We want you to become the best version of yourself. So every week we give you 2 podcasts. We got the one that me and Matt do, the main podcast on Tuesdays at 7 a.m. Central that drops. And then we have the Overcoming Myself podcast that drops 7 a.m. Central on Thursdays. And this is the one that you're catching right now. I'm Alex. I'm bringing you just another episode of my journey every week to becoming a little bit better, to overcoming myself, to getting a little bit closer to where I want to be and just the work that I'm doing. And this week was a good one. It was a good one. I shot my best ever round in golf. I shot a 69, 3 under, which was 4 strokes better than my best score, which was +1. I shot a 72, which was +1 a few years ago. And then earlier this year, I also shot a 73, which was +1. And so this round was just absolutely amazing. Absolutely incredible. I've been on clouds since, but I've also done some work as well to just be in a really good spot. And so I'm going to talk about that because I found earlier this week, I kind of looked at my life and I was not feeling great. The last week or 2 before that, I've started to slip into just some of the habits that start popping up in my life when I'm not running optimally, when I'm not sleeping good, when I'm not full of energy the next day. And what I did is I basically caught myself drifting, which is what happens, right? But for me, there used to be times where it would be like 2 months of drifting. And then I was like, in the past, I'd be so far away from where I started that it would take me a long time to build that momentum to get those habits going back in the right direction. And what I've realized over the course of the years on my health and fitness journey and on my self-love journey and on my journey to just get just a little bit better every day, that I've caught myself a lot quicker and that I don't drift very far away from where I was. It's pretty easy to get back on. And maybe when I call this drifting, for me, it was just a few habits that have started to slip a little bit. And so what I did, and this is something that a lot of you out there can probably try, is I literally wrote down a list. I was like, what are the habits that I have when I'm running amazing, right? When I'm feeling amazing, when I'm energized, when I'm focused, when I'm just running on all cylinders and getting a lot of stuff done, getting more done in less time, performing good in all areas of my life, showing up good for the people in my life, for my Zoom calls, for literally everything that I'm doing. And I wrote that down, and basically I'll even share that list with you guys. I have a list, and basically what I said is, number 1, I'm prioritizing my sleep. I have a dialed in nighttime routine. I'm giving myself 1 to 2 hours before bed to relax, getting away from screens in the last hour or 2. I'm reading every day. That's something I still do. I'm eating foods that make me feel good, nutritious, whole foods. I'm staying away from foods that disrupt my stomach or, give me my digestive issues, like oatmeal. Sometimes I like to eat oatmeal, even though it does not agree with me. I'm getting plenty of walks in. That's something I'm doing great. I'm meditating with intention. I'm not staying in my bed for it. That's something I started to slip on. I'm doing my manifesto with intent and emotion. I'm smiling. I'm having fun. I'm doing more stretching and mobility work to help with recovery. And so basically what I did is I listed all those things out. I was like, what am I doing when I'm feeling my best? Then what I did is I actually highlighted the ones that I've been slipping. And what I came up with is sleep's been slipping. My nighttime routine's been slipping. I've been starting to watch more and more Netflix. My Netflix just kind of gets a little bit more throughout the night. And then I find myself watching Suits, and I find that drifting into my nighttime routine. And then all of a sudden I wake up in the morning and I'm not as rested and I'm not thinking as clearly. And I don't do everything with intent. I don't get my workouts in with as much intent. I don't get my walks in with as much intent. I'm not showing up as the best version of myself. Another thing that I noticed was my meditations, right? They've been slipping a little bit. I found myself laying in bed for my breath work, laying in bed for my meditations, and not really having intent with them. And so those are the 2 things that I started. I was like, I'm going to switch this today. I'm going to switch this now, and I'm going to start to actually do what I need to do to feel my best, because I know how important that is. And so I started doing that, and I started alongside that just trying to develop a next level amount of discipline. next level, the most disciplined motherfucker that you've ever met in your life. That is what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to cultivate. I've started to get even more disciplined, and I've noticed that I'm leaving some on the table. And so I'm starting to work even harder to just keep every single promise, but to take it to a new level and to make sure that I'm living and breathing my core values, and that I'm living and breathing and just keeping every promise that I make, having so much intention, gratitude, love, just integrity, honesty, trust, having fun with stuff, being myself, being my more intense self, because I am a more intense person. I don't always show it. You might not even realize it unless if you're somebody who played sports with me, but I'm an intense fucking dude. And I want to bring that out more with my content, with my coaching, and just show up in a way that's going to allow me to be the best version of myself, but also allow me to help everybody else that I'm coaching, help all of you in the audience get the most out of the stuff I'm saying. So you're going to see a lot more of the real me, which is like, I've slowly got a little bit closer, but I feel like recently I had like a wake up call of like, you know what? I'm just done. I'm done feeling like a phony. I'm done feeling like I'm fake. Because I feel like not, and it's scary, right? Like, I think that's the thing, is that a lot of this stuff is scary. It's tough to put yourself fully out there. And so like, I've slowly got a little bit closer, but I haven't ever really fully put the real, full, true, intense version of myself out there. And so I'm going to start doing that. You're going to start seeing it with my content pretty fucking quick here. And you're going to start seeing it with me. I think sometimes it comes out on the podcast a little bit when I get excited about a certain topic that I'm talking about, but it doesn't come out enough. And I want it to come out more. And so I have a lot of really good changes that I'm making. I'm really trying to develop a lot of things around like champion and like just discipline and a lot of stuff around that that's going to help people not just get healthier, right? Not just like improve their energy levels, not just improve their body, but improve their mindset in the best fucking way possible so that you can achieve anything and everything that you want. Because that is the key. And that is something that so many people miss. And so that's something that I've really worked on hard and something that I'm doubling down on going forward. And the last thing I'll say this week is a 75 hard update. So I'm on day 37 today. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sore. I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't difficult. But that has really, I've came over a hump of just discipline, just even more discipline, even more intent. And I'm always every week trying to reevaluate like my intention with everything. Cause I think that's a really big core value for me, and something that I've really tried to double down on and keep top of mind is like, am I being intent, like full intent with this podcast? Do I have full intent with this workout? Am I putting in all my effort? Am I like taking longer rest periods? Am I kind of half-assing it a little bit? Am I just checking the box? Because I have the tendency of doing that. And I think a lot of people have the tendency of just checking the box, of going through the motion. You know, you'll go through it for a week and then like, you know, slowly you'll start checking boxes. And then that's where the drifting happens. And that's where maybe you got to reevaluate. You got to keep intention top of mind. Maybe you got to switch things up. You got to change up that morning routine a little bit. I had an interview with a guy by the name of Chris Flores on my other podcast, The Academy of Change. And he was talking about, he's like, when you find yourself, everybody's going to eventually find themselves checking boxes, going through the motions. The key is like, how quickly can you recognize that? And sometimes that can be because of monotony, right? We're doing the same things over and over again. And, you know, we need that mix up. We need to just throw a little something in. You know, it's not necessarily we have to change the things we're doing, but maybe shift around a little bit. Kind of gets you a little bit of just difference in your morning routine, in your day, a different kind of structure, different kind of things to mix it up. And then you can start having intent. But I think the key is like, we have to have intent top of mind. And once you do it enough, it starts to become second nature to like remind yourself before things, right? Like, it's like, make sure you go in with the best like intention to help, right? That's what I'm coming at with this podcast. I did a 3-minute thing that my coach, Matt, gives me called the intention steps, where I basically get myself ready for this podcast so I can show up in the best way possible as my true self. And so I've been doing that before I go on Zoom calls. I've been doing that before I go live. I've been doing that before I record podcasts. And with 75 Hard, I've been just trying to make sure that everything I do when I read that I'm being intentional with it. Because sometimes I can find myself drifting, right? These 10 pages, or I do 30 minutes of reading a day. I can find myself sometimes just reading to read, and I'm not even like digesting the information. I'm not being present with the information. I'm not taking much from those pages that I'm reading. Obviously, with water, it's kind of hard not to be intentional with water. You either fucking drank it or you didn't. But the walks, the workouts, like I'm trying to like make sure that I go into each of these and I'm like, every step on my walk is intentional, right? These weighted walks that I'm doing, every rep is intentional in my workouts. All of these things, I'm just trying to make sure that I dial in, because if I can get in the habit of that, that's just a next level amount of discipline. And I'm trying to work towards that discipline. And I think all of you out there should as well. But just some things for you today. Hopefully this podcast has helped you out, helped you realize that, like, if you found yourself checking boxes, if you found yourself drifting, write down what makes you feel your best. Write down the habits that you have rolling when you're feeling your best, and figure out where you're going wrong. What are the differences? What are you not doing right now? And how can we start implementing that back into your day? And then if you find yourself checking boxes as well, maybe you need to switch things up. Maybe you need to switch up your routine a little bit, right? And then discipline and intention, right? Having that discipline, developing the type of person that keeps the promises that they make to themselves, being trustworthy with yourself. If we can have the best possible relationship with ourselves, we are going to be such a force in the world and such an impactful person, and somebody who's just such a better version for everybody else. You know, when you talk about people out there, so many people, you know, prioritize other people over themselves, which is like, it's an amazing thought, right? But a lot of times you're doing these people a disservice. And so like people will keep the promises they make for other people, right? Which is awesome. You become trustworthy with other people, but you're losing the trust with yourself. So you're losing that self-worth a little bit. You're losing that confidence, and you're not growing, right? You're not becoming a better version. You end up not being able to put the energy and the love into these people in your life, your friends, your family, maybe your clients, people that are just strangers that we meet every day, all of this stuff. So make sure you have that intention. Make sure you work on discipline. Make sure you work on keeping the promises to yourself, and join me in becoming the most disciplined motherfucker that you've ever met. And if this was helpful, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, you share this with somebody. We appreciate it. Really, we are on that mission to help everybody out there. All of you listeners, optimize your life, optimize every area of your life, become better. Hopefully we can help you make a step forward today. We appreciate you, and I'll be talking to you soon.